next appointment will be for village administrator.
A dramatic meeting in Dalton leads to even more controversy, this time over a new hire.
Last night, Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard appointed a new top aide to a $100,000 a year job without board consent. 34-year-old Michael A. Smith.
I wanted to come out tonight, but we over here having media coverage here, and we don't put out the good things that is happening. But you guys got to connect the dots. D-O-T-T-S. Dots.
Now that Mayor Tiffany Henyard has announced Michael Smith to be the village administrator, which is amazing upon itself, it's time to dive back into some disturbing details I shared with you guys months ago about this man. We're going to revisit the shady, disturbing past of Michael Smith and Keith Price, who was helping Tiffany Henyard on the Thornton Township side. Two individuals that have been, at this point, the last loyal supporters of the mayor, despite their troubled histories. So let's get into it.
You lied on your work application. You a predator. You lied on your schoolwork application. Yeah, but you lied. Okay, but you lied on your work application. You lied on your application. Lying application. Y'all remember that? He grooming girls. You grooming babies. But you grooming babies talking to her. But you grooming kids talking to her. You beating up old people, but you talking to her.
Let's check out Keith Price. So he had some things to say about the regular board meeting. He was there at the township. I didn't hear a lot what he was saying. Probably wasn't all that interesting, but he was really upset about the regular board meeting, them bringing on Lightfoot. Let's see what he had to say.
The actions, man, as far as I'm concerned, the desperate actions of the Dalton trustees at this time is actually, I gotta stay in one spot. I gotta find a good spot and just stay still. So, as many of you know, and it's been all over the world news about all the conflicts in Dalton. Well, today, the Dalton trustees continued a meeting that they postponed from the regular meeting in which they were supposed to override the mayor's veto. If anyone knows how that procedure goes, just to give you a quick breakdown. Okay, trustees can pass something.
Oh, come on, get your phone.
They postponed the meeting till tonight, and they walked out. Right then and there, they blew their chance to override her veto. Once they left that regular meeting, that regularly scheduled meeting, although they tried to be slick and postpone it, there are still rules and laws that need to be followed when you are relocating a meeting venue. There are rules that you must follow. You can't just come to a regular meeting and say, oh, we're going to postpone it because a lot of people are outside. No, you can't. You can only let in as many people as you can let in, and then you are to do your meeting.
He's talking about rules and procedures. Is he just deaf, dumb, and blind? The super mayor has not followed a lot of those rules and procedures, Keith, but you must know that. So let's get more into the history of Keith Price, and beyond just throwing out threats. There was a comment that was under one of my videos, and I have a good idea that this actually happened. I'll just say it like that. But let me show that little picture real quick and the things that he likes to throw out a lot of threats. So this person, I got a call today from Keith Price after I called him, confronting him on his actions. And this is the actions of him sending Sherry that Facebook message. And Keith Price not only confirmed he made those death threats, but Keith Price is also alleging that he's a military veteran who has been shot multiple times and served in the military when there was no records of this. The funniest part is how Price tried to say that he's going to come after me and Happy charged for calling him out. And the funny part is I live in Colorado and he still made the call from his business office. So he's not a very smart person. He also wants to flash illegal guns on his Facebook page. So what I did today was not only contact the news, I contacted the FBI and the ATF. Sources close to me say that Price did get that visit from one of those entities. And that's the reason why during that meeting, he wasn't the one yelling and screaming, even though I think physically he's not able to do a lot of that. He does not look healthy in that meeting. And I guess Michael Smith hasn't got that call, but he was kind of subdued compared to how everyone else was acting, because he had a visit from one of those to tell him, we're watching you, stop your nonsense, because at this point in our society, threats online are taken extremely seriously. You can't just say whatever you want. And also, the part of the best thing too is not throw threats on your business line, you idiot, because that doesn't help, because they know exactly who you are. And then when you throw threats, people will contact the necessary authorities, because again, they take this very seriously. They probably realized that you work for the supermayor and thought, well, the supermayor has a lot of goons with around her. You probably are a problem. So you had that visit. And I'm sure that you are chill now compared to how you were before. Let's talk about some of his history. This one time that he broke some dude's jaw. This was a court order from the appellate court in Illinois. So this case involved a plaintiff. His name was Christopher Wilson, against the city of Harvey, and the defendant and resident Keith Price was an elected official of the city of Harvey. So the appeal concerns whether the city can be held liable for Price's actions under the Illinois Local Government and Governmental Employees Immunity Act. So let me get the background. Let me explain the background of what's going on in this case. So this situation involved Keith Price serving as an alderman for the city of Harvey. He physically attacked Christopher Wilson during a dispute over illegally parked cars in front of Midnight Auto Express. It was a car repair shop where Wilson was an employee. The attack resulted in Wilson sustaining major injuries, including a broken jaw. This fool is sitting there fighting people. He is an elected official, and he gets to a point where he broke this guy's jaw. So you have to take his threats seriously, because something is wrong with him. So Price, at the time of this issue, this altercation, he was an elected official, receiving a salary, health benefits, an expense account from the city, and considered an officer rather than an employee. So Wilson filed a civil lawsuit against Price and the city, asserting the city liability over the actions of Price and what he did. But unfortunately, the circuit court granted in favor of the city, concluding that there was no genuine issue of the material fact regarding the city's immunity from liability under this act. So he's saying that Price and the city asserting the city's liability under the Illinois Tort Immunity Act for Price's actions, but the court found that there was no general issue of the material fact regarding that act. So they're saying that, noting if Price was considered an employee, his actions physically assaulting Wilson was outside the scope of his aldermanic duties. So the court emphasized that Price's actions served no legislative purpose and was a personal matter, thus not falling into his statutory granted authority as an alderman. He has a history of being a really terrible person, and it's interesting that the city or the court went along with against this guy who had his jaw broken. But it shows like something is seriously wrong with this guy. So there's another case I want to show you guys that involved Keith Price. Upset with the other trustees and what they're doing. You gotta follow the rule of law. Okay, well let's check out another case here. So you guys know who Keith Price is. You see the super mayor. He's basically helping the super mayor do whatever that he is done over there, and a fierce loyal supporter of this woman. And his history shows that he's a scumbag too. Okay, so Patterson versus Dongaro. So this is happening back in 2012 by the New York State's District Court of the Northern District of Illinois Eastern Division. Involves the plaintiff, his name is Javon Patterson, alleged a series of wrongful acts against him, leading to his false accusation, arrest, and he was imprisoned for a crime that he did not commit. So this is some serious stuff, guys. Patterson was approached in January 2006 to assist in stealing cocaine, which he refused. Despite his refusal, the cocaine was allegedly stolen, and Patterson was later accused of involvement. After a murder of an individual who actually stole the cocaine, Patterson was arrested on April 24th, 2006. His conviction was later reversed, and he was awarded a certificate of innocence after serving almost 2.5 years in prison. Imagine that. You spend 2.5 years in prison for a crime you did not commit. Absolutely insane. So Patterson's complaint includes several claims. It's unlawful arrest and detention, conspiracy, malicious prosecution, and a Monell claim against the city of Harvey. So the defendants include the city of Harvey, Keith Price, Eric Kellogg, Jonathan Cook, Sam White, and Detective Hollis. They filed motions to dismiss these various claims, but the court dismissed all those claims against Sam White. What Keith Price's involvement is, and I'll go a little bit further in there. So Keith Price, in this case, he was implicated in a series of events surrounding the wrongful accusation, arrest, and prosecution of Patterson. So according to the allegations, Patterson was falsely accused of being in this involvement of theft he was not involved in. So all this is basically the conspiracy, right? The conspiracy, the case that alleged that Keith Price, along with other defendants, conspired to falsely accuse Patterson of this crime he did not commit. They tried to provide false information, potentially including Keith Price, provided false information to further the criminal prosecution against Patterson, and threatening behavior. So this is a kind of scumbag behavior. Keith Price is not a good guy. I think that's good. That goes without saying. He's not a good person. He's been accused of mismanaging funds when he was an alderman, kind of similar to the mayor, very similar to the mayor. He is that kind of person that does this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna show you another link real quick. The price and cost of Price, career criminal from the city of Harvey from 2007 and to today. Keith Price has a criminal history, and it is recognized by the public in the courts. This is not something that we're all making up. And despite this, he has political ambitions. There's hints that he's trying to, I guess at one point he wanted to be mayor. I doubt that's going to happen now, clearly. You sat there and you're defending the worst mayors who have ever mayored over anything. Like this idea that he'll never get to that point. And maybe that's the reason why he is so interested in trying to defend this person. Without the super mayor, what does he have? Like, he lost all credibility. Just presenting a critical view of Keith Price's actions and character, questioning his suitability for public office. And we'll talk more about him. I'm sure there could be more information. If you have more information about Keith Price, let me know. He seems like he has anger issues. He throws threats online to multiple people, not just Sherry, but I just read another one. Sources tells me that reason and many other reasons why he had that visit with one of those. And another person needs to chill out. Seriously needs to chill out is Michael Smith. This guy was on one during this meeting. What was he doing? He was like losing his mind. He was letting everyone know that he truly wants a job or something. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. He was at the regular board meeting on the 1st of April, and this is who he is.
My name is Michael Smith. I want to thank Trustee Gonzalez for a great show tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Let's tell the truth. The problem of the whole matter is Cassandra didn't get the supervisorship. You couldn't even get the vote. But we never talk about you holding 2 illegal seats. 2 illegal seats. Only reason why nobody has filed is because we can't find nobody to take your seat. You holding 2 illegal seats. As a school board member and a township assessor, you have no business holding 2 seats. Ooh. And the deal was, if she became the supervisor, you was going to be the assessor, right? Wasn't that the deal? So that was the deal.
Who are you talking?
Well, we probably need to ask you, Chris.
Sure.
What happened?
I'll answer questions.
Why did the supervisor get rid of you from being the assessor before? You were once our assessor.
Correct.
What happened? Why weren't you our assessor anymore?
I chose not to run. I chose not to run.
Why?
And he asked me back. So if we left on some type of bad blood, I wouldn't be here.
Okay. Secondly, I feel this township board needs to
the ordinance reads that we don't have to
censor him. You need to censor him because he's giving out.
Thank you for that, Stephanie. Good job. Good job the other day.
When you talk about being a government official, you are elected by the people to have duties. Certain things do not belong in the public. And you and Mr. Paul put this thing together. Y'all wanted to have this rally and this type of stuff. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You vote down everything in this township, but you forgot to tell the people too you were in Las Vegas, right? Didn't you go?
This is one time that Tiffany looked somewhat happy. This lunatic screaming into the mic, losing his mind, embarrassing himself, but Tiffany is so desperate for some sort of support. Like, you know, she's been booed, she's being destroyed. She knows it's about to end, but at least she can have this goofball embarrass himself for her benefit. And she's smiling, and this is one of the few times where she does smile, and she still looks uncomfortable throughout the entire thing. But
Vegas. Not last year.
Did you go to Las Vegas?
The first year.
Answer my question. Did you go to Las Vegas?
The first year I did. So I know that the township has no business.
Did you
there.
go to Las Vegas?
The township has no business.
Yes, you
there
did.
Because I was.
Yes, you did. You were there.
I was
You
there.
were there.
Absolutely.
You were at Las Vegas. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, you were.
Can we please
Now-
act like adults in here? Get some control of this meeting.
Now you want control because the truth is coming out.
You know what?
You wanted to be the assessor and you couldn't get a second.
I did not.
You couldn't get a second.
Okay,
That's
Mr.
what
Smith,
they heard.
thank you.
Because you couldn't get a second. This is
That's
terrible.
about Vegas.
It's terrible.
you heard that? Let's talk about the skeletons in your closet. So I'm sure you already saw the last video, but like she said, if you're going to throw about, you know, talk about who went to Vegas, and just like Shay said last night, he went to Vegas, but there's a bigger issue that we're all concerned with what happened in Vegas. Now, this seems like, I don't think Chris Gonzalez is accused of anything compared to what Andrew Holmes is accused. You could say, well, it's wrong to go to Vegas. All right. But to make it seem like, oh, well, we can't really talk shit about who went to Vegas because I went to Vegas. Like, someone is alleged to be sexually assaulted. There's no comparison to the two. So you yelling about who went to Vegas is irrelevant at this point.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And then you got an office in Calumet City. Should our records be in Calumet City, City Hall? No, they should not. They should not. They should be here at the township. Let's talk the truth. Let's talk the truth. It's all the truth because you wanted to be the supervisor. Well, the people didn't put you there. They didn't put you there. They didn't put you there. They didn't vote for you. They didn't vote for you. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Now, I'm not finished. I get to talk all I want. Secondly, I want this board, since we want an investigation, I'm asking the four trustees, please release the information about the employees that got all these bonuses. Off of the taxpayers. Release the information of the employees that got gas.
Look at this smug. Like, there's no reason for you to be trying to gesture like this guy is cooking. He's not cooking. He's embarrassing himself. And she's so desperate for any kind of support in this situation. I love the fact that this person zoomed in on Henyard's face to make it seem like, yeah, Chris, you got problems too. Like, there's levels of problems. Like I said, everyone's a sinner, but there's some, you know, in my opinion, there's certain things you do that's really bad compared to what is obviously been accused of, what she has been accused of doing, covering up sexual assault allegations, allegedly. But she's so desperate, you can tell right here.
Off of the township, please release it. Please release it. Release about the $5 million deficit. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Talk about the truth. Put the truth out. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. But that's what I'm here for. Instead of we sitting here trying to down her, we should be trying to help her. And there's so many people that wanted that seat, but they couldn't get a second. She got it. So support her. She ain't even been.
Just support her. She got it. She's there. Doesn't matter that she's terrible at doing the job. Forget all that. She's there and you didn't get there. What kind of stupid logic is that? So we made a mistake. Doesn't make a whole lot of damn sense. It really doesn't.
Office long enough. But I'm tired of it. You tried to make a show here, Trustee Gonzalez. You wanted this. You wanted a show. You put it together. But tell the people why you don't vote on their bills. Why you don't vote on their bills? Why? Why? Talk about it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Talk about it. We need to talk about the truth. And secondly, let's talk more. The reason why.
So this is Kamal, but yes, right here, Kamal Woods is a manager, youth grant. He makes $100,000 a year.
A lot of these people are here tonight because of your senator. Your no good senator. Napoleon Harris that does nothing. Matter of fact, she sits on the board. Tell them about the bonuses you got, Stephanie. Tell them.
Look at that.
Was it legal? Was it legal?
You already posted it. Sir, talking about
was it legal?
You already posted
You had no high school diploma. Sitting in a
And I
job.
worked 22 years.
What a loser. What a loser. Especially we're gonna see what he has been. Listen, I wouldn't go to school if he was in working at school, and we'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, but that's some punk ass stuff. Embarrassing himself.
Diploma. And you got mad because she told you she didn't want you in that position. She didn't want you in that position.
Thank you, Mr.
And now you're the park district director over in Dalton. Don't have a degree. You don't have a degree.
Thank you, Mr.
You
Smith.
don't have a degree. You don't have a degree.
But I have a job.
I got one too. Thank you. Thank you. It is a shame how you lead these people for your own good. It's a shame you behind it all, Stephanie. But guess what? Guess what? You gotta give an account for it. You gotta account for it. You gotta account for it.
He's able to throw out all the accusations and things that of mistakes of other people, right? And what they're doing wrong, even though obviously you know this what he has done is no comparison. So let's get into it. He was disrespectful because he is, again, just like Lacey, just like Keith Price, and embarrassing us, believing that they care about black women, care about women in general. They don't. And this shows they're not real men. Let's check this out real quick.
Application. You lied on your work application. You a predator. You lied on your schoolwork application. Yeah, but you lied. Okay, but you lied on your work application. You lied on your application. Lying application. Y'all remember that? He grooming girls. You grooming babies. But you grooming babies talking to her. But you grooming kids talking to her. You beating up old people, but you talking to her.
So real quick, all right. So let's say that you are, again, you're Michael Smith, and you're some kind of, you're simping for Tiffany, and you've been told to do this, to yell and act like a complete fool. And then someone to your left is yelling that you groom girls. When you stop and say, yo, no, I don't, or at least for me, because I haven't been arrested before. I'm a big nerd, but whatever. If someone started yelling, yo, you did this crime, I'm like, wait. I'll have to turn to this guy. Like, what are you talking about? That's not true. He just kept going with the play, because the play is the Superman is telling him, you got to defend me because I'm drowning out here. I'm getting destroyed. So go in there and yell and just throw a bunch of stuff. Be the mudslinger, just like Keith Price does on Facebook. Start threatening people. Throw out all the dirty laundry of everyone else. Throw some smoke screens because I'm in trouble right here. And the dude, Jedi's like, yo, you grooming girls. He says a bunch of stuff, and he just keeps yelling. You gotta turn around and kind of say, defend yourself a little bit. But I guess he doesn't.
But you talking to her. Boy, shut your ass up. Man, I can't stand these, boy. You want to help being mayor, you will never be elected again in your goddamn life. Connect the dots, the DOTTS, the dots. Your ass is grass. You a clown. You begging. How much you looking for her to give you? She ain't fucking you. She don't like you. And you ain't getting no money. Nah. You ain't gonna get none. Get your ass back. You ain't gonna stop disrespecting her. Stop disrespecting her. Michael, remember when you want to help being mayor? Now you'll never be elected. Beating up your grandmother, grooming little girls. You got fired for it. Lying on your school application. That's why you got fired. And your private accounts, we know that you threatening people with them anonymous ass accounts, Michael. Get another computer.
And also the goons, not only they do the mudslinging, they do the threats. They're not very intelligent, so they don't understand that. At least on Facebook, the whole anonymous post, the people running it still know who you are. They even show a little message before you type a message in an anonymous post. You can see it if you can read and say, the administrators of this page can still see you and know who you are. Intelligence is not who they, representing with the Henyard group right there. They're not the smartest. The smartest guy seems to be Freeman and he's still effed up. But after Freeman, everyone is borderline. I don't know if their IQ hits 100. I saw this last night, real quick, on just some of the history of the criminality of Michael Smith. This show Michael Smith right here, the candidate for the Village of Vilda trustee. You guys can take time to look at this. This man has been arrested for so many different things. He is a true career criminal. And he has the nerve to scream at Chris Gonzalez. Now, I'm not saying Chris Gonzalez is a saint. I'm sure he's just like a lot of politicians. They're doing some paid for play stuff. But God damn it, dude, you've been in and out of jail. You go to jail twice a year, it looks like. Here, 2011, 2012, 2014, 2015. All you do is go to jail, and then when you're trying to get jobs, you're lying on your applications, you're getting in trouble. What's up with you guys and going in jail for stealing stuff and breaking into things? So look right here, 2012, Trustee Smith was arrested by the Village of Dixmoor for domestic battery to his elderly aunt. This piece of garbage was beating up an old woman. And you notice when Jedediah was in everyone's face, and that coward didn't want to fight Jedediah, but he's gonna assault an elderly woman. And again, apparently he assaulted the village police chief. Criminal damage to government property. I don't really know what he did over there. Well, another one arrested for violation of order protection. And it's like all he does is fight cops, fight away from getting arrested. Tiffany probably promised him, you go for bat for me and I'll take care of you. So she has maximum control. It's a true cult of personality. You grabbing people who have this void. The void for him and Keith Price is they have conducted themselves so terribly that they can't get another job in politics. It's not going to happen. It's over. But this person is the only one that will give them a hand, will give them the resources. You must defend me at all costs. Even if you embarrassing yourself, yelling to everyone about all the little issues that you think are working in the favor of the super mayor, and it doesn't. Again, you're beating up people, you're destroying property, you keep resisting arrest. What's wrong with you? So this was in a high school, Thornton Fractional High School. The superintendent will recommend your dismissal as an employee of this district at a meeting of the Board of Education on Wednesday, May 9th, 2018 at 5 p.m. The meeting will take place at administrative offices. So Dr. Craig will report the Board of Education as your performance and will charge you with the following infractions. So you can see this dude is a total disgusting man that should not be around children. He's sexually harassing female students, grooming students, inappropriate aggressive behavior towards a male student, because I guess maybe he didn't want you, Michael. A failure to follow district policies and procedures, failure to cooperate with the administrator of an official inquiry, investigation, or other official proceedings, including making false, inaccurate, or deliberately incomplete statements. This is the kind of people that Tiffany Henyard was clapping and was very excited that this person was supporting her. What does that say about her character? She probably shouldn't be leading anything if she thinks that person needs to be protected. So there's another one. Let me show you another piece, another letter that happened later on, just to kind of show that, he had no chance. There was no way he was going to continue with this job. Let's read this all together. So when we look right here, on March 28th, 2018, the Executive Director of Human Resources and the Executive Director of Student Services held a fact-finding meeting with Mr. Michael Smith, Dean's Assistant at the Center for Alternative Learning, to discuss the allegations that he interacted inappropriately with a 15-year-old female student. 15 years old. Additional parties in attendance were at the fact-finding were a few people. Let's move in to see what the instance was. So on March 28th, 2018, administration was notified at a possibility of an inappropriate encounter between a staff member, Michael Smith, and the former center student, right? A male student was attending, was friends with this person, made the allegations following a heated verbal exchange between him and Mr. Smith. According to the male student, Mr. Smith has been messaging the female student in an attempt to, quote, unquote, get on that. So this disgusting, nasty, pervert, creep, loser was trying to text a 15-year-old student in an attempt to get on that. The male student shared a screenshot of his phone showing the text he sent, asking if she still had the messages from Mr. Smith, After confirming she had the messages, the male student attempted to forward those messages to him, to which he refused. So the text exchange was between the male student occurred several days before the male student reported the matter to attention of the staff at the Center for Alternative Learning. Once informed of the incident, the assistant principal Walker contacted, I guess, the victim's mother to inform her of the situation. Now, I'm not sure of this school, but usually alternative learning could be many things. And this dude thought he had an opportunity. And most likely with these kinds of predators, that wasn't his first time doing it. That was not his first time. He's probably done this many times before. He just got caught this time. We still have a few more things to talk about, so let's continue. Mr. Smith claimed that he explained the rationale for the expulsion to the parent and student, emphasizing that this was the only time he spoke to a student outside his normal duties. On more than one occasion, he stated he had never had a conversation with the student outside the parameters of his positions of dean assistant. When asked if he interacted with the student via social media, Mr. Smith denied talking to the student via phone or social media. When asked why the parent would state he messaged the student via Snapchat, Mr. Smith said that he had no idea and added that he did not have a Snapchat account. When asked again if he contacted the student via any social media outlet, like they're trying to break it down to Mr. Dots guy. Did you contact her with any way using a phone? And it says right here, Mr. Smith denied any contact with the student on any social media accounts. Mrs. Smith was asked if he recalled telling two administrators that he, in fact, had been in contact with a student via Snapchat, to which he denied any such. Mrs. Smith explained that the allegations were based on a negative relationship between him and the male student who brought the matter in the attention of the administration. He's trying to throw the boy, the man, I will say more of a man than this Mr. Smith, that saw this predator trying to prey on his friend and stand up to him. But it's beef. What do you mean? Like he photoshopped it? It doesn't make any sense. So from his perspective, Mr. Smith believes that the male student was attempting to get him fired because the student felt Mr. Smith was not disciplined for allegedly calling the male student a derogatory name. Mr. Smith provided the disciplinary log entries for the male student in question and highlighted key logs where the student was insubordinate towards staff and made threats to other staff. So he's trying to distract from him having some disciplinary issues, as if that changes what he's been doing, hitting this girl on Snapchat. So apparently there were some issues where he was going back and forth with this student. But the problem is they have screenshots. So it didn't matter what he was doing or what him and this student was doing. But this shows what this predator was trying to do, trying to get away with this kind of crime. And obviously it didn't work. It didn't work at all. I'm gonna show at the very end here. So, Mr. Smith, in the light of the evidence the administration has gathered and based on your responses in our fact-finding meeting, the Board of Education has upheld my recommendations for discipline. Our investigation has shown that you have conducted yourself in an inappropriate, unprofessional manner with several students on multiple occasions. As a result, you will be replaced on suspension without pay immediately until such time as the Board of Education may schedule and hold a dismissal hearing. So going back to the same thing, your actions have greatly distressed several students, affected their well-being, and disrupted the learning environment. I recommend your dismissal to the board based on the following charges, which we already read earlier. Lastly, you are advised to remain off district property and refrain from contacting district students and staff. We have connected the dots. You're a pervert, and you need not be around any children. Like, that's the dots I'm connecting. And I'm interested if a lot of other people, fathers around children that know that you was there, now they kind of all know. Keep your kids away from this man. So you're gonna hit him up on Snapchat. Something's wrong with this whole group of people.